Good evening, everyone. We will just begin in a short while. Kindly wait for a few moments. Aditi and Arshpreet, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I request you to kindly start with the session. Please start, Aditi and Arshpreet.
अपने कर्तव्यों संग नारी भर रही है अब उड़ान, ना है कोई शिकायत ना कोई थकान, यही है नारी की पहचान. Greetings to one and all present here. I, Arshpreet Kaur,
And I, Aditi Chandra.
on behalf of Women's Studies and Development Center, University of Delhi, warmly welcome you all to the first talk of the online lecture series under the WSDC Forum. Today's theme is Our Voice, Our Power, Understanding the Role of Women Development Cell in Higher Education Institutions. Over the years, with more and more women entering higher education institutions, it is imperative for a collective to exist where the questions related to gender, awareness, sensitization, and discrimination can be addressed. The WTC aims to do this through its endeavors and works towards building a safe and empowered space for women in higher education institutions. Goddess Saraswati is a symbol of wisdom, knowledge, learning, and empowerment. Before starting today's session, I would like everyone to join us in seeking the blessings from the goddess through Saraswati Vandana. Let us hope that the grace of Ma Saraswati will illuminate our minds like the radiant rays of the sun.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रामृता या वीणाभरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतं शङ्करं प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा
At WSDC, our goal is to create a world where women can afford the same rights and opportunities as men, and where they are treated with respect and have the power to make decisions. We strive to positively impact the well being, independence, and honor of every individual, with the aim of enabling women to be self sufficient and capable of addressing global changes while also promoting gender equality. Our team of coordinators, faculty, research scholars, and the administration has been the backbone of WSDC. Their immense dedication and efforts continue to inspire us.
I'm sure all of you must have WDC in your institutions or be aware of its existence in your institutions. Today, we will learn about the significance and the role of the WDCs in higher education institutions. I extend my welcome to Payal ma'am, our respected faculty and the admin of WSDC office, the research scholars, interns, and all the participants present. We are delighted to have Professor Payal Mago amongst us today, a botanist by profession, an environmentalist by passion, a distinguished academician, and a dynamic leader. She has over 25 years of experience in teaching, administration, and women activism. She is currently the director of Women Studies and Development Cell, the director of Campus of Open Learning, the principal of Delhi University of Delhi's reputed institution, Shahid Rajguru College of Applied Sciences for Women. She has been awarded with the prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award by Women's Agency for generating employment. She is also the member of the executive committee of Central University of Rajasthan. She has published various research articles in several international and national journals. Professor Mago has 8 books published in her name, credit, and numerous chapter edits and international articles. Ma'am, we are very thankful to have you here with us. We look forward to your insightful experiences, thoughts, and encourage all the participants. We welcome you to this session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aditi and Arsha. Uh, Today, as we all have joined for the first time, so I welcome all the WSDC WDC conveners of the colleges, students, research scholars, and our team of members. We at WSDC work together for the empowerment of women and for getting a equal opportunity for women, and we work for the women rights also. So first of all, I would like to welcome you all to this forum, which is a forum of Women's Studies Development Center of University of Delhi. And our forum voices, forum's first talk, which says Our Voice, Our Power. So to begin with, when I joined WSDC, then it was a question that women studies is a forte of social scientists. But I am being a pure botany person, pure environmentalist, and a science person. How can you be the director of Women's Studies Development Center? But to tell you a fact that for women's studies, we do not need a gender specific study or a subject specific study. Anyone can be a women right activist. It can be anyone who have studied sciences or social sciences or commerce, as well as any men or women. This is a subject of the society, and we are all the members of the society. So we all whosoever have joined, they can work for women development, they can work for women empowerment. We all can together create a society where there is a respectable position for the women, and where there is actually a position where women can live freely, can think freely, can choose the career of their choice, can have her own choices. This is very, very important, that a woman in a society, if can have her own choices, then it is the best peaceful society and a progressive society. Now, let's talk about our society. Since we are living in India and we have a society which is usually called a patriarchal society, and we often at various forums of Indian forums as well as global forums, we find that women in India, we find so many diverse opinions about women of India. It's not that a woman in India is not empowered or not working in a social sphere, but we find diverse opinion even in Indian media also, and in the global media also. At the same time, it is just not that about the women opinion about women. We get so many different kinds of newses about the women. So basically, let's discuss that what exactly is presently the position of the women, and what we can do to have a, if have a society which is equal for all, which gives equal opportunity to all, which gives a peaceful and respectful place to the women. If I go in the history, then definitely when I was studying this women's studies, when I was studying the first wave and the second wave of European countries, as well as the American continent, I have found at various places it was written that the history of Indian women's struggle is ahistorical. We do not have a history of women's struggle. So that was a thing which really made me to think, is that really so? That we our struggle for empowerment and to get a equal opportunity, is it really so ahistorical, or there is something else with it? But when you will read the first wave and the second wave, which comes as a revolution for women, and the women took up the revolutionary path to find the ways to find to establish that they should be given equal rights to men in America and in Europe, then you will find that in the first way they were just fighting to be uh, to be given a right to vote. So America, which we consider a very progressive country, European countries which we consider very progressive, there the women had to fight to get the right to vote, to get the right to property. So these are few things which never existed in India. And if you go back to your ancient Indian history, then you will find that there was no dearth of opportunities for women. Women can study, women has equal rights, women can keep property, and in fact, women was actually empowered, because in every sphere of life she has a role to play. It is not that she is just a homekeeper, or although homekeeping is not also a bad thing for a woman, but she has a role to be there in every sphere of life. A man is considered in our ancient literature that a man cannot take up any kind of a ritual or a ceremony without a woman. If a man is there and there is no women, he cannot participate in religious ceremony where a men and a women together is needed to conduct yagya or some other kind of rituals. So when you see this heritage, and everybody knows that we are the worshippers of Shakti, and Shakti being the women. And whenever we say that we have to worship something, then we start with Shakti Puja. So all these things, they made women empowered. But at the same time, since India has a very rich culture and rich society, so we had to face lot of invasions, and these invasions, they made our women slightly weak, because when invaders come, they come for wealth, but for getting the wealth and for fighting, they first strike on the women. So whenever there is a battle, it is the women and the children. They are the worst affected people. So to protect women, to go inside the houses. So there was some kind of problems which existed in our society because of the invasion, because we wanted to protect the respect for the women. So ultimately, what the women is doing and what the society is doing to keep the women inside, so she doesn't face the atrocities which are created by the invaders. So that was a reason that there is a society which developed and which has locked women inside the houses. So there was, in the medieval era, there was a problem of getting education, working outside the home, and the other things which started, and the crime against the women also started. I'm not saying that in ancient society there was no crime against women and there was no disparity, but same time you can see that there may be certain things in the ancient era and medieval era that you can differentiate very well, that there are certain atrocities which came only in the medieval era and existed, and even existed today. It's not that we are completely now into a peaceful society, but they even existed today. Now, the thing is, if we go back to our thinkers, and if we talk about Gandhi, we talk about Raja Ram Mohan Rai, if we talk about Vivekanand, so all of them, they have somewhere or the other, they express their views about women. If I talk about Vivekanand, then he said कि women को हमें empower करने की जरूरत नहीं है. हमें क्या जरूरत है, हम उसको सिर्फ एजुकेशन दे दें, हम इसको सिर्फ पढ़ा लिखा दें, उसके बाद उसको क्या करना है, तो वो उसको मेरे ख्याल से कुछ लोगों का ऑन है, किसी का ऑडियो ऑन है, तो आई रिक्वेस्ट एवरीवन कि एक बार ऑडियो बंद कर लेंगे. वी विल हैव मोर टाइम फॉर डिस्कशन. सो सिंस दिस इज गोइंग ऑनलाइन ऑल्सो, तो ये अच्छा रहेगा कि हम अपना ऑडियो कहीं पे ऑफ कर ले. तो जब विवेकानंद ने कहा कि हमें सिर्फ उसको एजुकेट करना है, हमें उसे गाइड नहीं करना है, जब उसके पास एजुकेशन होगी तो वो अपने आप को खुद गाइड कर लेगी कि उसको क्या करना है, किस फील्ड में जाना है, समाज में उसकी स्थिति क्या होनी चाहिए. सिमिलरली गांधी ऑल्सो सेड लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स अबाउट वुमेन कि जिस सोसाइटी के अंदर मेन और वुमेन को इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिल जाती हैं, वही सोसाइटी प्रोग्रेसिव होती है. Now it is very important that we must think of what exactly is the role of women development cells in higher education institutes. अब अगर हम हायर एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट्स की बात करते हैं, तो अगर हम दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी की बात करें तो 60% ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स आर विमेन स्टूडेंट्स जो यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर अभी पास आउट हुई हैं, और पास आउट होने के बाद में पीएचडी डिग्रीज भी अगर आप देखोगे तो 60% आर विमेन who have got the PhD degree in the recent convocation. मैं सिर्फ दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी की एक तरफ बात करती हूँ. बट अभी CUET लगा, तो CUET की एनालिसिस करनी भी बहुत जरूरी है. CUET में अभी सभी लोगों को एक एंट्रेंस टेस्ट देना है, तो जो अब हमारे को एक बार एनालिसिस करनी पड़ेगी कि जब हम मेरिट बेस से CUET पे आए हैं, तो जो एनरोलमेंट है विमेन का, is it really affected or it is not affected or it is improved or it remains the same. तो एक ये हमारा रिसर्च का टॉपिक थोड़ा सा होना चाहिए, और इसके लिए डेटा हमारे पास यूनिवर्सिटी में अवेलेबल होगा, बिकॉज ओनली देन वी विल फाइंड आउट कि अगर विमेन को या गर्ल स्टूडेंट्स को एक कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम में जाना होता है और उसको मेरिट बेस्ड जाना होता है, इज देयर एनी डिफरेंस और इज देयर एनी डिफरेंस ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी टू हर. स्कूल में आजकल अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली रही है, स्कूल में वो पढ़ती है, मेहनत करके पढ़ती है, लेकिन जिस तरह से ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप टेस्ट की तैयारी होनी चाहिए, और उस तैयारी के बाद में अगर हमारे विमेन कैंडिडेट्स और गर्ल्स कैंडिडेट्स आर इक्वल एज कंपेयर टू द मेरिट, then I think that this is a point of discussion also. And if the number increases, again it is a point of discussion, and if the number decreases, that is a point of concern, and that is a real point of concern, and we must take out the reasons. So let's talk about our role, that is the role of women development cells in higher education. WSDC Women Studies Development Center, जो दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी का एक पार्ट है, एक constituent center है. This center has been created by under the scheme of UGC, और इस सेंटर में मेनली जो सारी चीजें होती है दैट इज अ रिसर्च बेस्ड, एंड इसमें अब जो एम्पावरमेंट बेस्ड कुछ हम चीजें भी इसमें कर रहे हैं, कुछ प्रोग्राम्स कर रहे हैं. बट वर्किंग इन आइसोलेशन इज नॉट द राइट थिंग. अगर विमेन डेवलपमेंट सेल्स जो कॉलेजेस में हैं वो कॉलेज में काम करते हैं, और WSDC यूनिवर्सिटी में थोड़ा सा काम कर रही है, तो हमारे जो हैंड्स हैं वो डिवाइड हो जाते हैं. बट इफ वी कैन वर्क टुगेदर, इफ वी कैन मेक अ टीम and of women development cells of the college and WSDC, तो हम the women development cells को भी strengthen कर सकते हैं, and we can do much more what exactly we are doing right now. So it's a call for women development cells conveners that we can have a meeting. एक हम अपनी जॉइंट मीटिंग कर सकते हैं WSDC के साथ में, और WSDC के साथ में जो इसका वेबसाइट है, जो भी आप प्रोग्राम्स करते हैं वो अगर हमारे उसके ऊपर आ जाएंगे वेबसाइट के ऊपर, then the whole university will come to know, and all the women development cells of different universities also will come to know कि these programs are conducted in this manner in different colleges also. At the same time, we can plan certain programs together also with WSDC and women development cells of the college. At the same time, there are certain things in academic field which we can offer to you. We have a very well established library जिसमें बहुत सारे titles हैं जो कि women related हैं और जो easily available भी नहीं है. So if you wish to work on a small project and you want some kind of references या कुछ एक books आपको पढ़ने का मन करता है, तो our library is open to everyone. अगर women development cells को इस library की membership लेनी है, that's membership is free. We will make your card. You can get the books issued or you can read, you can consult the books. This is one of the rich library on women titles. I'm not saying in with the number of books, but women titles के ऊपर this is a quite a rich library. At the same time, we can plan certain academic projects also and certain empowerment projects also. तो ये छोटे छोटे प्रोजेक्ट्स अगर हम कॉलेजेस में टीचर्स के साथ में स्टूडेंट्स के साथ में एंड विमेन स्टडीज के साथ में करेंगे तो हमारे जो दोनों गोल्स हैं गोल्स ऑफ वर्किंग in the women studies as an academic field as well as establishing a narrative for empowering women in different manners. So ये सब चीजें भी हम together मिलके better तरीके से इसको कर सकते हैं. So this is just our first introduction of Women Studies Development Cells, a Women Studies Development Center to all the women development cells of higher education institutes of University of Delhi or colleges of University of Delhi. We have a well organized website also, library also, and we can work together for certain goals to be achieved. We can come up with certain good papers on women's studies as well as certain things, certain programs which will lead to the women empowerment. So these are the few things which I wanted to take up with you. So just an introductory meeting. Also, Women Studies Development Center of University of Delhi has recently launched a 3-month certificate program also. So that is for everyone. You can do that certificate program. Join us because it is basically Index entry, and you can join that program. There will be a certification of that program, and that will add value to our understanding about the women's studies, as well as if we wish to work in this field further, research or any other thing, definitely we will go a step further with this program. And these 3 months academic programs, we will launch one after the another. So you all are welcome to do it. There is no eligibility condition. Only the students who have joined graduation in the college, they can join, faculty can join. And I propose for a faculty refresher program also in women's studies, because that will give us a deeper understanding of the women's studies which is there in India as well as in abroad. So that is all about today. So it's just an introduction, and we will meet quite often with good speakers. And I hope that next time when we meet, we will work on different fields like legal fields or media or education fields and empowerment field, employment field. So all these fields we'll take up during our talks. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing such a valuable and informative lecture. I think all of us learned a lot. We understood the importance of gender specific bodies in higher education institutions in a more nuanced manner. After listening to such an enlightening session, you must be brimming with questions. So, the platform is now open for questions. With that, we can start the Q&A round. Please raise your hand if you wish to ask a question. Please speak when called upon. You can also send in your questions in the chat box on the platform. Thank you.
I can see a question in the chat box. Can you hear me all? Because there is something on the chat box that we can't hear you. But in any case, there is a question. Uh, how can women deal with challenges that they face at a social level? Yes, there are so many challenges at the social level, but there is no single point agenda on it. Women has to be empowered. Women has to be educated. Women has to think her own way out. जब हम खुद सोचना शुरू करेंगे, जब हमारे पास अच्छी एजुकेशन होगी, तो we can do changes at the social level for ourselves as well as for the women like us. So there is just not one formula, but when we have come together, we can think of so many things about it. What is the procedure to open WDC in college level? WDC is a compulsory, Women Development Cell is a compulsory center of a college. So if a college doesn't have, irrespective of whether it is a co-ed college or a women college, this was another question which I'm answering. If there is no women development center in your college, this is not allowed, because UGC has given a constitution that there must be a women development center and the works associated with the women development center. And one more thing I would like to clarify: women development center is very, very different from the ICC committee, that is the Committee Against Sexual Harassment. So that is absolutely a separate committee established by the Act of Parliament. And this Women Development Center, it is the request of the UGC to open it all the colleges. So if you don't have, please go to your principal and ask ki we should have a Women Development Center, a convener, a faculty, and a few student members, few faculty members associated with it, and they can work at the college level the different problems faced by the women students, as well as there are certain empowerment issues, some legal education, media education, and security, and all these things. The security audit can also be done, accessible audit can also be done, women budgeting is gender budgeting can also be done. So there's so many things which are associated with the women development centers. What are the challenges for women in academia? I would say that it is not only in academia, challenges are there everywhere for women. And it is not that the challenges are there only for women. Challenges are there for men also. But we share a little more of the challenges because we are the ones who aspire to be multitasking. We have to look around our house also. We have to be the caregiver for children as well as for the elderly. Our society expect, and we must do that. It is not so that we should not do that. At the same time, in academics field also, if we are there working or research scholar or studying, we have to excel over there. So there are challenges, but we have to make a long plan for ourselves that what we want to achieve, what exactly our goals, और हमें कहाँ तक पहुंचना है, और उसके लिए हिम्मत रखनी है और अपना काम करते जाना है. And challenges की अगर हम बात करें, in academia or in any field, there is a huge list of challenges. But first of all, we have to empower ourselves with education, with good academics, with good academic records, and only then we can overcome the challenges which we face at any point of time. How can a college collaborate with WSDC? This is another question. I'm only answering, but there are others also in my team. They can answer also. If you wish, if you all agree, तो जितने भी WSDC हैं, WDCs हैं colleges के, विमेन डेवलपमेंट सेंटर, उनके कन्वीनर्स को कन्वीनर्स भी होंगे. तो कन्वीनर को कन्वीनर एंड अ स्टूडेंट हम सब लोग एक बार साथ में मीटिंग कर सकते हैं. We can chalk out a common plan, common agenda with WSDC and with colleges, and we can start working on that. So I think in next week, if my team also agrees, so we can have this next week or next month when the college is open after 15th of August, we can have a meeting in the university. Schedule of the offline certificate course. Yes, someone from my team can answer. Nupur, can you answer the schedule of the offline certificate course which we have offered? Okay. So
Yes,
Rituraj has answered already.
Good evening, ma'am. I think we had discussed this that after the holidays, that is, once the colleges reopen, then we would be having a meeting with all the conveners and the co-conveners of WDC. In your
Okay.
last meeting, we had discussed that, ma'am.
And schedule for the certificate course will be discussed after the question
Ji, ma'am.
answer round.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, the schedule is ready. We will be sharing that after this round is over. And we'll be sharing all the details about the program and events as well.
Right. There is a very important question from Shikha. How can WDC address challenges and stigma faced by students belonging to the LGBT community? And what measures can be taken to ensure their inclusion? Yes, this is actually a very important question. First struggle they have already crossed, that the admissions or at the time of some appointment also, there is a column for the third gender also. And but LGBT community faces various other challenges. So we can have a workshop or a group discussion and come out with certain sensitization program. So we must think over it, because it is a huge issue. This is not an issue to be addressed by just one answer. So we can have a complete meeting separately, and we can come out with certain measures for them. I think this was the last question, and we can proceed further. There are no more questions now. So over to the anchors. One more question. Interesting. What are the future prospects for women in leadership role? Women is always a leader. You think of your mother. Isn't she a leader in the home? Isn't she the most empowered person in the home? Mostly, मतलब 80% of that. 20% exceptions कहीं भी होती है. आपका घर जो चलता है, that revolves around the mother. अगर mother 2 दिन के लिए ना हो, just tell me, imagine the condition of the house. होती है कि नहीं होती? सबकी हालत बुरी हो जाती है सिर्फ मदर के चले जाने से. तो women is always a leader. जहां पे भी वो रहती है, she is always a leader. Only thing is we have to understand our inner strength. जिस दिन हमने अपने inner strength को समझ लिया कि yes, and being multitasking, being caregiver, being good in academics, that is very very important. और जैसे ही हम ये तीनों चीजों के साथ अपने आप को आगे बढ़ाते हैं, the prospects for women in leadership is tremendous. So don't worry about that. Yes.
Who has been your inspiration? Has raised her. Dr. Pinky Arora has raised her hand. If you have a question, you can speak.
Does WSDC addresses issues related with the Northeast Indian women? Yes, it is our forte. We have to address all the questions related with the women students or women teachers teaching in the university. So all gender issues are our issues. Definitely, we'll take care about it, and we'll plan a separate program for Northeast Indian students, Indian women students.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. Am I audible to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, this is Dr. Pinky Arora from Central University of Haryana. And I remember 3 years back, you were there as one of our guest speakers also when we had Kuhar sir as the Vice Chancellor. I remember you were here in 2021. Ma'am, my question is that I would like to join this short-term course that you're proposing. Can we, assimilate this course as a regular feature of our academics? As a semester course? Can we do that?
Yes, actually, Delhi University में तो बहुत सारे जो generic elective courses हैं, they revolve around and different subjects. Philosophy also floats that course. English also floats. Political science also floats. So all these courses regarding the women's studies, you can have in generic elective courses of various social sciences as well as in sciences also. So generic elective can be taken by any of the discipline. So I think this is a good idea that every university should have one or two courses revolving around the women's studies in their regular curriculum. It's really a good idea.
Because, ma'am, when I was applying for my postdoc, this was one of the main topics that Europeans are looking for, the gender studies and the women's studies. So I
Okay,
realized the importance, and my main, aim is to join this course because I want to expand my research area so that I can make my students work on women's studies as well.
right. We will also make it a regular feature because this is just the first and the very basic course on gender studies. Very basic, just an introductory course. But the next course which we will bring, it will be in a progressive manner. And hardcore women's studies course we will bring.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. No more questions are there, so I think we can proceed.
Daya Bhardwaj has also raised the hand.
Okay,
You can
okay.
speak.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I'm the convener of Women Development Cell of Shahid Rajguru College. And
Welcome there.
actually, by attending today's meeting, I hope that I got a broader platform. Right now, we have just restricted ourselves to our college, and now we know after meeting, now I can guide my WDC how we can expand our horizon. So
Right.
thank you for inviting us into the meeting. What comes to my mind at this platform is because I'm from the science background, especially from the technology side. My concern is
Right.
about the representation of girls, not the women, but the girls in
Okay.
science. And
Yeah.
I'm also from a girls' college, women college. And since last 10 years, what I'm finding is there is a decline in the science overall, like male and female ratios. So the students who are representing 50%, like we are the women college. So our problem is there is a still decline in the students opting for the science courses. So can we take this topic somehow under WDC? We can create awareness, or we can do something in this
Definitely.
area also.
Yes,
Especially
definitely.
in Delhi, the situation is alarming, ma'am.
We must take up this area of STEM, women in STEM, science, technology. Yeah, we must
ma'am.
take this up.
That is my suggestion.
After 2-3 months of interaction, let us come up with a big workshop or a seminar or a conference so that all these things can be discussed and the outcome can be submitted to the government and the higher education institutes heads.
The problem which I think is basically the opportunity. Most of the students, they are very much fascinating by the humanities and the commerce, the management, but the pure sciences and the sciences, they are not catching up. And parents
Right.
are also worried because when they are like giving education to their girl child, they are more concerned about how much she can gain by 22 or by 23 because they have the problem of getting married. So all these things, if we can target.
Yes, definitely we'll have a separate session on this because this is a huge question.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is a huge thing which needs to be taken care of.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
And this women's study centers, you can always approach UGC for opening an independent women's study centers also. I don't know how much they have the funds now, but UGC seems to support these women's study centers. Yes.
So we'll take the last question from Ayushi. She also raised
Ma'am,
her
who has
hand.
been your inspiration as a woman?
My mother. She is my inspiration and she's still my inspiration. My mother, she is around 90, maybe more than 90 years. And she is the one, she is basically not working. Not working means she is working, but not working in terms of office going or in any other field. But she was the one who always encouraged me to study. She had lots of stories to tell me, and her knowledge base is so wide. I always see her working. When all of us were sleeping, she was still working. When we all wake up, she's still working. I don't know when she used to sleep. And she had so much of energy. We were four brothers and sisters, and she had so much of energy to give different kinds of environment to all. Somebody is working, then the needs are fulfilled. Some my elder brother sisters were working, I was studying, my needs were fulfilled by my mother. If anybody comes to the house, he or she is taken care. My elder dadi also taken care by my mother. So she had such an ample amount of energy. So she's actually my role model for my life. And right now also when I go back home, she will ask me everything. पूरे दिन में क्या किया, क्या important हुआ, क्या खराब हुआ, क्या अच्छा हुआ. So I had to tell her everything. And she has such a like understanding of the things. She cannot move right now to outside, but she is well aware of it. When there was no TV, she used to read newspapers, and now there is TV. She is updated about all the events which are going on, all politics, all kinds of news which is being floated. I am unaware, but she knows it. And whenever I go home, she will ask me, आज ये हुआ तुझे पता चला. मैंने कहा नहीं. I had to scratch my head कि नहीं मैंने तो न्यूज़ नहीं पढ़ी. सुबह न्यूज़पेपर नहीं पढ़ा था क्या? So this is the way we are being nurtured. And I don't know she has gone to a formal school or not, but she has done some education through something like distance learning kind of a thing. So, and it is not that she was only taking care of the house. She had such a beautiful handwriting. I still have one of her files with me where she has written, and I think I shared sometimes back those files on my status also. And she has done a lot of good embroidery on one side of the file. It's just like a scientific file, a piece of good embroidery, and then written about that embroidery. She might have done some kind of a course in embroidery at that time. So she is a good hand in embroiders. And I remember that when we were young, I am now 57, when we were young, तो हमारे जितने भी कपड़े होते थे वो भी हमारी मदर ही सिलती थी. वी हैड नो ऑप्शन कि मॉल में जाए और कपड़े लेकर आ गए. वो भी शादी में जाने के कपड़े भी हमारी मदर ही सिलती थी. So who else can be your role model? We are not like her. We can't do so many things about her. The way she nurtured us and the way she was talented. So thank you for asking me this question.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you for all the questions. So before ending today's session, we have some good news to share with you all. The team of WSDC has been relentlessly working towards their goals, and today we will be officially releasing the Women's Studies and Development Center's official website. So here's a quick glimpse to the website. The link to the website will be provided in the chat box. Everything related to the WDC is uploaded on the website. So after today's successful session, WSDC is happy to announce that we are restarting our multidisciplinary gender-based online lecture series under WSDC forums. These lectures will be covering an array of topics like media, financial literacy, environment, law, psychology, workplace, healthcare, and many more. We have also announced a highly knowledgeable and intensive 3-month certificate course, which is offered by WSDC. The certificate course will be on understanding women's studies and Indian feminism, wherein we will make the students understand the historical development and evolution of women's studies as an academic discipline and feminist thought, along with analyzing the social construction of gender and sexuality and their implication on Indian women's lives. We will also engage in contemporary debates and issues surrounding women's studies, particularly in Indian context. Our endeavor will be to make the students apply the knowledge gained from the course to critically evaluate politics, programs, and initiatives related to gender equality and women's rights in India and beyond. So this session has now come to an end. Thank you everyone for being here today. Your presence meant a lot to us and made this session a very successful one. I would like to thank our esteemed speaker, Professor Payal Mago, for gracing us with her eminent presence and for giving us her valuable time to speak about something so important. Admin staff for their tech support, the research scholars and the interns for making sure things run smoothly. You all are now requested to turn on your camera so we can have a group picture. Please turn on your cameras. Thank you, everyone. The link to the feedback form is given in the chat box. Please make sure to fill it up. Your feedback is very valuable to us. The link for a WhatsApp updates group is also given in the chat box. And the links to our social media handles are on the screen. Make sure to join us for more updates about the upcoming events by WSDC. Thank you, everyone. And so if anyone has any query regarding the 3-month certificate course, they can stay back.
Good evening, everyone. If there is any student who has enrolled in the course and has any queries, please feel free to ask. If there are people who want to join the certificate course or have any other query regarding that, you can type your query in the chat box, or you may just raise your hand so that we allow you to speak.
So we can enroll till 12th of August or the 5th of August. I mean, if we want to pay the fees, the last date is 5th of August.